Hi everybody, Sanbonan, welcome to Reality Buzz TV. So you guys, finally we get to sit down and do the full review of episode 6, is it, of Uthando Nesthembu. We are live on YouTube, we are live on Facebook, and we are also live on Twitter, you guys. Let me check if this stream is monetized, okay, so that we are not out here working for free. If you're joining me for the first time, you guys, if you're on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. But if you are on Facebook and Twitter, make sure that you follow me over there as well, so that you don't miss out on reality TV stuff. Okay. So let me see. Uh let me see. Anyway, you guys, we're going to do episode 6. I think the one thing that we were looking forward to when it comes to episode 6, it is episode 6, ne? Yeah. If you've been watching, why am I on the picture here as a thumbnail? I did put a thumbnail. What's happening here? Why are you guys seeing me before you click on this video? Okay, let me fix that, and then we can go on with the review. I think one thing you guys we were looking forward to when it comes to this episode is the sit down between MaKhumalo and MaYeni. Okay, the derby that I was talking about the other time. But the derby disappointed us a little bit, but we'll talk about it because that happened towards the end of the episode. So we'll talk about it. I'll tell you what my disappointment was when it came to that sit down. The sit down did not do what the sit down was supposed to do for us. So I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand what happened. Okay. So make sure you guys that if you come across an advert on this video, if you are on YouTube and you come across an advert, that you do watch that advert just to support the channel, you guys. Just an advert or two, okay? Just to support the channel. We do have a membership on this channel. It's 20 rands a month. So if you just want to support the channel once by paying 20 rands and then support, then you can do that as well, you guys. So let's get on to it. Last episode, of course, the boys got the cars, okay? They got the cars. We talked about the cars so much, you guys, especially the reaction of the boys. Now, Ulwandle is taking the car back to SE Point, which is where Umacele lives, okay? Please, guys, let me know in the comment section if you can hear me, okay? We've had some audio issues this week, so make sure that if you can't hear me, just let me know, then I'll see how I can fix it. So Ulwandle goes back home, and because we got the same Zumba, the whole handover of the cards happened in Zumba now. Usesi Park. I said Sipark, Usesi Park manje back with her mom at her mom's house to show her mom the house. Okay. And then you guys, in reaction Galwandle this time, oh, his demeanor is different, okay? Because Ulwandle was the happiest last week. When Mosa was giving them the car, he was the happiest, he was excited. He even went on his knees and then wahamba waya kuMaKhumalo wayobonga kuma wakho omncane kwabamnandi kwanje. When he gets home, you guys, his demeanor is different, okay? And I was wondering ukuthi kwenziwa yini lokho, and I thought ukuthi it could be, you guys, one of two things. Number one, I think that Ulwandle knows that her mom really wanted him to get a smaller car, you know, and also even for him, he is overwhelmed by the fact that he got such a big car. So he knows ukuthi umawakhe didn't really agree with him getting such a big car. So I think he was anxious about how his mom was going to react when it comes to this him receiving imoto. Imoto that umawakhe did not want to. It's not like umacele. That's MaKhumalo. It's not like Umacele did not want Ulwandle to get the car, but Umacele preferred to go to Ulwandle Atole like a smaller car because he's younger. Okay, so I think he was anxious about that, and I also think guys, I mean, Ulwandle badala now, so they know if there's tension between Omababo, and recently there has been tension between Umacele and MaKhumalo, and the fact that imoto comes from MaKhumalo, I'm sure Ulwandle wanted to be sensitive towards umawakhe ukuthi is my mother going to be happy because I got imoto from MaKhumalo, or is she not going to be happy? So I feel like that demeanor that we saw in the beginning, where he looked like he wasn't happy, is because he wanted to see if his mother is really happy that he got this car, and then he was gonna be happy. I loved reaction Kamacele, you guys, even though she did not agree with Ulwandle getting a bigger car, but she was excited nonetheless. Imotomesifike Kaya. I loved Uthusne, you guys, was excited for her brother. Uguti, he is getting this, he got the car, she was excited. I didn't see anything or jealousy or anything like we saw on Pumelelo. Usne was like 100% happy. I felt like she was happy, you guys. And then she did say, you know what? Even Ulwandle would have preferred a smaller car. Okay, that's what Umacele said. And she said the reason that Ulwandle is not as happy as he could be is because he really would have wanted a smaller car. I don't know about that, you guys. I don't know if Ulwandle wants a smaller car, or maybe he wants a smaller car because that is what his mom would have preferred for him. Okay. But you guys, Umacele is happy. They pray for the car. We know they pray for the car and all of that, you guys. While I was watching that, that's where the thought, because yeah, in the because I was looking at it and I was like, hey, yes, a plan here is working, because I really do feel like him always saying, I need to take care of almost MaKhumalo. We need to have a boy that will take care of almost MaKhumalo. It's not about someone taking care of almost MaKhumalo. It's more for me, you guys, an opinion after when I watch the show. It's not about somebody taking care of almost MaKhumalo. It's about somebody getting his into MaKhumalo. It's more about that. And I feel like his plan is working, because now he got the car back to, basically he moved a car from one household to the other. Okay, he moved the car from indlu kaMaKhumalo wahamba wayifaka endlini kaMacele. So who wouldn't be happy? I was like, it wouldn't even make sense for Macele to not be happy that this has happened. Basically bathatha imoto kaMaKhumalo bayifaka emzini kaMacele. But obviously, Umseleko was very strategic in doing this whole thing. Okay. So I do feel like, you guys, the whole thing of saying Utulwandle must take care of this household and that house, it's all about who is going to get his into MaKhumalo. And right now we can see it while MaKhumalo is still alive, is into MaKhumalo, they are being given to Ulwandle. And if they are being given to Ulwandle, they are being given to Umacele, because if Macele's car is not working for whatever reason, okay, she can use that car. Okay. So that went well, you guys. I liked it. I like Umacele was happy to get the car. And akazange abe ne-drama, because siyamazi phela uNdlunkulu sometimes. Sometimes uvela kudinwe nje all of a sudden ungazi ukuthi usedinwa yini ke manje. And then you guys, we saw into that we never see in South Africa. I was like, hey, kudlalwa ngathi ke lana. Usne is going to Home Affairs to change his, I guess she had gone before to change her surname. Now she's going to collect her ID with a new surname. And I greeted there, I don't know if it's Home Affairs manager. I'm like, hey guys, let me go change my green ID and nami. Home Affairs manager. They sit down with you like, we are very happy that you are here. Here is your ID. We have changed your surname. Now, okay, next time, please bring your kids so that you can change their surname as well. I'm like, which country is this, guys? Which country does Mzumbe have their own country somewhere? But I'm saying about the country, because I was like, hey, that is not a representation of how our Home Affairs goes in South Africa. Okay. Obviously, that was because the cameras were there. That was because it's someone from the Mselego family. It actually irritated me a little bit. I was like, I'm happy for Sneo to finally she gets what she wants, you guys, because for seasons now, Sneo has been talking about wanting to change the surname from Shibe to Seleko. So it's great to see it happen finally, you guys. It's been such an up and down thing with her on the show. She wanted to change the surname. I'm glad it's happening. But I was like irritated with that scene. I was like, that is not a representation of what happens at Home Affairs when you want to change your surname, because they tell you to bring your mother. You bring your mother. They say bring your daddy. You bring your daddy. No, your daddy must wear slippers when he comes. And then you bring your daddy with the slippers. They say he must wear a hat. And then he comes with the hats. And then they say the system has shut down, and then there's load shedding. And Home Affairs, we are 15 before you actually get what you're there for. So I was like, what the hell is this? Which Home Affairs is this? Hey, and you get someone to sit across you and tell you, here's your ID. I was like, this one is nonsense. This is a nonsense scene. This is not how South Africa goes. Anyway, I'm glad for Usne. She says that she wants to change the surnames of her kids because her kids are also using surname Kamawake, Umagasne, I believe Shibe, so why Umashibe. So she has always used that surname because Umako never married Kamseleko. I believe you guys for now, because Kamseleko, sometimes you think you think about bashadile and then you discover hi why ngashadile, and then you think abanye babe ngashadile and then you discover babe. So for now, I believe also Magasne why ngashadile Kamseleko. So that's why she was using the Shiba surname. Then we get a scene, you guys, which is interesting. MaKhumalo with her daughter Umpilo, you guys, and they're doing a driving lesson, which I was like, this is cute, okay, to do with your mom. And anyway, you guys, I was like, okay, it's a driving lesson. Below was nervous and all of that, you guys, the typical first driving lesson. I think that what was making people nervous was more, she's learning to drive with such an expensive car, and she was nervous about the fact that if Ngisha is a motor, what's going to happen. But that scene for me was not really about the driving lesson. It was about the fact that MaKhumalo doesn't seem to have like serious conversations when it comes to Umpilo, especially on the show, about the issues that happen on the show. I feel like every time that Umpilo is mentioned in the mess, some type of drama and mess, MaKhumalo, it's either she's going to go back to Umpilo and talk to her in a defense mode. I know you didn't do that, but I know you didn't do that. Or she does not have a conversation at all, you guys. I feel like Umpilo is old enough to be able to sit down with her mom and be like, okay, what's the deal? Okay. I feel like the issue Yogutu MaYeni is holding that thing. Yogutu Mpilo at some point was not calling her a mom, and somebody had said to Mpilo must not call MaYeni a mom. That conversation, at least MaKhumalo should have had a conversation of some sort with Mpilo, even if she doesn't say to Mpilo, listen, MaYeni is still upset that when wawungambizi ngoma, even if she doesn't say that, she can just say, listen, I kind of feel like there is an issue there when it comes to you and MaYeni. And I feel like MaYeni is your mom, just like everybody else. Can we make an effort? Can we make an effort to go to now and then we are Mvakashela, now and then, I thought that was I thought the driving lesson. I was waiting for the driving lesson to end so that MaKhumalo can have that conversation with Umpilo and be like, Umpilo, listen, this is the issue that we're having. I do feel like just like kuyikini lana kaMaKhumalo kaMangwabe, kamacele nakaMaYeni kusayikini, and I don't want MaYeni to feel like maybe I am the one who's preventing you from getting closer to her and her kids. Okay, so can we make an effort to maybe now and then visit her? Maybe you guys do need, now you're an adult, now you can have your own conversations with her. Maybe you can find out what is causing that tension between the two of you. No, the conversation, it was just a driving lesson because MaKhumalo is tired of driving Umpilo around, okay? And akasafuna ukumrequestela. And I waited and waited and waited, and I was like, where is the conversation? There was no conversation. I'm sure even the producers were like, no, but you guys were supposed to talk. Maybe MaKhumalo was like, not my baby. Does too much. So that scene, you guys, for me, it was a disappointment that they did not talk about that issue because I thought they were going to talk about it eventually. But you guys, the diary session where MaKhumalo and Pilo were doing a diary session together, didn't they just look beautiful together? I like the dress that MaKhumalo had on. And somebody even said that Umpilo and MaKhumalo, they actually do look alike. Are we sure that they are not related? I believe that they are not related because Umpilo has her own mom, but it's because maybe we see them together a lot. That's why we end up even feeling like MaKhumalo and Umpilo angathi abandawonye mhlawumbe bayafana. But I don't see it, okay? But I do love that relationship. Kodwa, you guys, I do hate the fact that Mpilo is hardly ever mentioned in on Uthando Nesthembu, even by her own daughter. Mpilo hardly ever mentions ukuthi phela she does have my biological mom. It's like ngathi nje kuyapretend ngathi akekho nokuba khona. Well, from what we see on the show, okay? Now, you guys, the interesting part was Umnini no Amosa Mseleku. Because I guess they're going out for ice cream because he's just wanting to find out what's happening with Umnini. Umnini is having issues at school, and I can imagine being Umnini's teacher. What a challenge. Ukuba uthisha we-celebrity. Yo, I can imagine to khuluma kakhulu esikoleni and whatever. And I don't want to lie, you guys. Listening to a conversation between Umusa no Mnini, I do get what Umusa is saying, because Umusa is saying, "Go to listen, Umnini just is naughty, ukhuluma kakhulu, and he will manipulate you into thinking, taking his side." Okay, and I saw the manipulation when he was crying, because I was like, "Mnini, there's nothing to cry about, really." He was crying, "Angizenzi mina, angizenzi ukuthi ngibe nje." I was like, this kid is like his daddy, okay? He's just as manipulative as Umusa, Umnini. And the tears too. We've seen Umusa cry twice. When have you seen a man cry because the wives don't want him to take his fifth wife? Fifth wife, number 5. Where did we see that? Oh, no, Uthando Nesthembu and Umusa. Umusa Msele was the one crying. Abafuna ukuthatha number. Ngihlulekile. He was doing exactly what Umusa does. I was like, this boy is his father's son, okay? What are we complaining about? But there is a part of me, you guys, that feels like there might be something more serious when it comes to Umnini. And you know, these kids are but and they are on a spectrum, they are on an autism spectrum, because when it comes to izinto ekanjalo khona extreme, and then like they say it's a spectrum, so ingane can have just a smaller element of that, you know, condition, but uthola ukuthi ani notice because uhlakaniphile esikoleni uyaphasa, she can the child can interact with other kids normally, but khona into nje empreventayo from being able to settle down like ezinye ingane and learn njengezinye ingane. So I do feel like there are possibilities that Umnini could be like having a condition ekanjalo that is hard to detect, because they do say ukuthi uhlakaniphile uyaphasa esikoleni, but the fact that constantly they are getting that feedback from othisha, because listen, it's very hard to ufundisa lo mntana ukhuluma kakhulu, unaughty, and it's hard for him to settle down and concentrate esikoleni, okay? But see, his conclusion, Gamos, I was like, listen, this child is just manipulative. He will make you want to think like him, but he needs to just stop being manipulative. And the tears were manipulative because he was crying, and then the next thing he was laughing, and I was like, it was almost like in the diary session, the producer said, okay, can you just cry? And then and then they were like, okay, we got that, and then he started laughing. So I don't know why they didn't edit the laugh out, because it was weird that happened. That it wasn't even funny. It was like, so what is it? It was weird for me. The scene was weird, you guys. Anyway, we get to the sit down. I was like, yeah, you know, it's like, you know, you have like they advertise locally in your area where you live, you're going to have image Pirates and Chiefs, ne? But yes, the Pirates and the Chiefs izodlala kwi-ground early local leno, you know, and then you are there, nihambe-ke niye groundini manithi niyafika nje i-team yeingane eyincane, but it's called the other team is Chiefs, the other one is Pirates, but it's not the real Chiefs and Pirates, but they were advertising it as if it's a main team. I felt like that with this sit down. I was like, what is this? Okay. Number one, you guys, for MaYeni, because MaYeni really angazi, she is an interesting character. I feel like for MaYeni that we know, she was very positive when she was coming into the sit down. I feel like she's very positive. I don't know what she was thinking. Maybe she was just thinking MaKhumalo just wants to have, you know, just is taking her out. And she was like, you know what? I don't know what's any line, but I guess ngilani. Okay. Listen, number one, I did say on the video I did about the Derby sit down that I felt like there's a lot to discuss when it comes to a relationship, MaYeni no MaKhumalo. And I thought that's what the sit down was going to be, about their relationship. Okay, they're going to finally tell us what is the issue that has made you guys the enemies, even though you guys say you're not enemies, but we can see it. Okay, I felt like, okay, it's about time we find out. But it wasn't about that. You know what the sit down was about? MaKhumalo wanted to go and defend below. That's it down. She called uMaYeni, wamkhipha emzini wakhe, wamsusa ey'nganeni zakhe. uMaYeni has therapy sessions to attend. She has a job. She has, and now she has a singing career. She could be booked somewhere gigging. And wamkhipha kuzona zonke lezo zinto wazomhlalisa phansi just so she can defend uMpilo. I feel like ever since the show started, there's so many things that have happened between MaKhumalo and MaYeni that the Mpilo issue is not even the most important issue that we want to hear about. So this scene for me was a disappointment. I was like, what the hell is this? I don't know if MaKhumalo had plans to talk about real issues and then she got there and got intimidated by MaYeni, because guys, MaYeni don't play, okay? MaYeni is not playing. If MaYeni does not feel like smiling at you, she will not. If she's smiling, it's because she really is smiling. But even when she's smiling, Connie shade the corner with her smile. So I was like, MaKhumalo, waswenka wafaka i-makeup, wabiza unkosikazi kamyeni wakho, wambizela restaurant so that uzodefend uMpilo, who's an adult now, who can do that for herself, by the way. What the hell is going on? I was like, what the hell is going on? Okay, let me explain what happened for those who didn't watch. Okay. So now uMaKhumalo starts again, say, listen, I want to cacisa the things. I want us to cacisa izinto moving forward. I want for us to just have clarity as we move forward with our relationship. Okay. uMaYeni did say that she did not expect she did not expect to be called there, but also she did not expect that's what the conversation was going to be about, okay? Because she says, MaKhumalo has never called her to sit down, okay? Guys, I've said, we are in season 7 of Uthando Nesthembu. We've seen Ama sit downs, but there has never been a sit down between MaKhumalo and MaYeni. So even when they've done each other wrong, they never sit down and resolve things, which is exactly what MaYeni's point is. Why are we doing it now? We've never done it before, okay? And then MaKhumalo says, listen, we always leave things hanging. And the way that I know that we leave things hanging is that you always make comments. That means that uMaYeni always makes comments. Or you know what? She says, she'll be saying things like, you know what? You know that comment that uMaYeni would say, which indicates but there is something that is left hanging. Okay. Then she goes on to say, to be more specific, I was triggered at dinner. Okay, what triggered this meeting was the dinner that we had. And I'm like, dinner? What happened at dinner? Because I'm not thinking it's the Mpilo situation. She's like, okay, what triggered this was what happened at dinner. At dinner, you mentioned Umpilo. Umpilo did not call you mom, and that somebody had told her, Uguti. Guys, that conversation bored me. Somebody had told her, so I just want us to sit down and clarify that, okay? Now uMaYeni is like, usungaze ungikhiphe kwami ngempela uzongihlalisa phansi, and bebesabalethela ukudla okumnandi ngithi ngisazobabona bedla ukudla. Sometimes when you've gained weight, you like, sometimes you enjoy watching people eat so that you don't eat as much because you're trying to lose weight. Yeah, I'm there. I was like, I want to see them eat that food. But as I spoke on, because uMaYeni just got irritated. They ended up picking the food because she's like, what the hell have you called me here for? Not only do you take my man, but you also take my time, okay? And you take my opportunity to enjoy this very nice dinner. So now uMaYeni is like, so ungibizela leyo nto, ungibizela into kaMpilo. Okay, she's that. I think MaKhumalo was trying to say, I don't want people to think I'm the one that told Umpilo, because she says, I never told Umpilo to say that, but I don't know who did. But I don't want people. I feel like if she was straightforward, she would have said, I don't want people to think that it's me. Listen, guys, I totally get why uMaYeni just went off and did not understand why she was called to that dinner, because she said, listen, for me, the reason I mentioned that at the dinner is because I was being asked about kids visiting, different homes. And I was saying for Umpilo specific, because she was mentioned, this is the reason why for us, the relationship is not really where it's supposed to be, because she has that where she said she was told to not call me Umawaki, But I think even with uMaYeni, guys, she must have expected that they were going to talk about more serious things, because, guys, I do feel like with uMaKhumalo noMaYeni, there are things that happened earlier on in their marriage, that they need to talk about. And nanokuthi indaba siyayithanda manje abafuna ukuyikhipha le ndaba lezi ezenzeka. when they had just arrived kamsele kunaloko bafuna ukukhuluma ngompilo calling uMaYeni mom. You know, so uMaYeni was like, listen, ziningi izinto that as a family we've just had to move on without having to sit down and resolve them. And also when it comes to into kaMpilo, mina ngayisolve into kaMpilo ngoba I realize that the child doesn't call me mom when I call her, so ngambuza ukuthi what happened, ngayisolve ngaleso sikhathi. Even though she doesn't say ukuthi uyisolve kanjani, did she tell uMpilo to call her mom moving forward? I don't know, but she says that thing, mina, I solved it. So it's not even something that we can even now arrange meetings and sit down and talk about it. She was irritated by it, okay? And MaKhumalo was shocked by a reaction kaMaYeni, but I don't understand because just last season, MaKhumalo said uMaYeni doesn't like her. Guys, they could have even spoken about that. They could have even sat down and spoke about the fact that uMaYeni thinks MaKhumalo thinks uMaYeni doesn't like her. I feel like those are some of the issues that they could talk about. Why do you think I don't like you? Or MaKhumalo can say, listen, I've always felt that you don't like me. Can we resolve it? What are the reasons that you don't like me? Instead of talking about into below, okay? And MaYeni still stands by. Listen, if you did something to me, and if something happened then, and you didn't feel the need to sit down and talk to me about it, then, and you decided that this whole time we must all carry it and move forward with it. Now, why must we sit down? And why must we sit down now and talk about it? Okay, guys, my battery is going to is going to do the thing. Amanda. So, yes, you guys, but let me just do this, guys. Yeah, boy. It's in charge and over support like a So, you guys, she went on to talk about how Umpilo, even though Umpilo grew up Kamseleku, but part of her childhood, ukhulele. Hey guys, lo bra lona ufuna ukuvela nje namhlanje, ufuna ukuvela nje kule gossip. Ngibe ngisathe yabona abantu abafuna ukuvela kwi-gossip no bra bafuna ukuvela. So uThumbulo grew up komalume wakhe. So partly she lived Kamseleku, but for most of her childhood she lived komalume wakhe, and then she lived Kamseleku. So she says that sometimes mengabe udilisha nengane, you have to understand their perspective. I do understand that. How that's why bekumnyama. Nisho ukuthi nani ade ningibona ngimnyama nje. Anisho nani ukuthi umnyama bo. So yeah, so she says, and sometimes like when you're dealing with a child, you have to understand that. I do feel like with uMaYeni, guys, in Tokampilo is not a big deal. I feel like there are bigger things that uMaYeni probably feels that they could have discussed. There was the irritation. She thought they were going to discuss something else, but they discussed something else, okay? And then uMaYeni feels like uMaKhumalo yonke lento abeyichaza ayikho, and if into ingalingisa ngaleso sikhathi it must be left ilokhuzwe kuqhutshekwe nayo. I did feel at some point, you guys, because uMaKhumalo is she is a public speaker and a motivational speaker, and if you are somebody that has listened to uMaKhumalo's motivation, I did feel like she was getting motivational with uMaYeni, which didn't work. I really felt like they could have had a heart-to-heart with uMaYeni. I think it was an opportunity for them to have a heart-to-heart. You know, don't be going to umnakweni yokhuluma ngothi, you know, when you umuntu wesifazane fanele phela manikhulumisana nibe you know, listen, fanele sithanda umuntu oyedwa lana kodwa futhi ke kunezingane la, so we need to find a way yokuthi understandane. Yiziphi izinto that I've done mina on my part that you feel have hurt your feelings? I know it's been a long time zenzeka, but what are those things so that moving forward I can be aware ukuthi izinto enjalo ngingazenzi, nanokuthi I can still say sorry for the things that I've done in the past. It's an opportunity to do that instead of ukuthi wena uzoba motivational ukuthi phela mengabe nikhulisa ingane kanjani. So for me, you guys, I did feel like it was a waste of time. I felt like uMaYeni was absolutely correct by saying, listen, umosha isikhathi sami phela lana ukuthi ungibizele ukuthi uzokhuluma ngento kaMpilo. I do feel like uMaKhumalo, every time igama laMpilo is mentioned, she goes into defense mode. Okay, so for her, it's not possible in her world that kungenzeka uMpilo abe wrong, for an example. But even when it's not that important whether umpilo wrong or right, she makes it a big deal. You know, if you mention umpilo into ibankulu to uMaKhumalo instead of just dealing with serious things. So iDabi, guys, angifuna uqamba amanga. Idabi was very disappointing. Very disappointing. I did not like the fact that they did not talk about real issues. If they had to have a sit down, they should have had a sit down about serious things. So they ended up not finishing that very nice food that was served. Lapayana, you know, because of course, uMaYeni was irritated and wathi ngicela ningibhekela ukudla kwami lo nkosikazi ungwestela isikhathi, and she was on her way. And I was like, hey, I can. Hi, yeah, Nontobeko Shangasi, thank you so much for joining. Hi. If it was not a big deal too, why did she decide to address it now? And MaKhumalo had to address it. No, remember, guys, remember how the name Kampilo came up. It wasn't brought up by uMaYeni as such. It was brought up by Ulona. What's the messy man? Umosa. It was brought up by Umosa. So, and then uMaYeni, because uMaYeni knew it's an existing thing, yokuthi yena no Mpilo abavakashelani. She was like, listen, Keka, let me address the Mpilo thing because Seni brought it up. It was Umusa who brought up the issue. So uMaYeni never said, guys, I have this thing in my heart that has been hurting me. She's saying she addressed it with umntwana at that time, and but understand nengane at that time she moved on. But because uMusa raised it, because uMusa is massive, sometimes. So he raised it, and then uMaYeni was saying address. When it comes to Mpilo, specifically for Mpilo, we have an issue. When a child says to you they can't call you a mom because they've been told not to call you mom, it's hard to move forward with umntwana as normal, like as ingane, you know. So uMaYeni didn't raise that issue as something that was bothering her, that had been bottled kuyena. Also, uMaKhumalo, when that thing is raised at the table at the dinner, because Leanto Yakulunya, when everybody's there, all of the wives were there with Umusa. Umusa was the one that was talking about kids visiting everybody. So when that was raised, uMaKhumalo doesn't say anything, doesn't defend it then to say, okay, let's clarify it. Just so abantu bengazocabanga ukuthi mina I've never told Mpilo ukuthi angakubizi ngoma. So if ukuthi mhlambe leyo nto yenzeka, let's find out from Mpilo. It could be mawakhe kubo or someone, but it's not me that did it. So it really, I feel like it should have been dead right there at the table. Okay, if any conversation should have taken place, is a conversation between uMaKhumalo and Mpilo, because uMaKhumalo, as an adult now, Mpilo needs to understand if she wants to have a good relationship with all of her moms, there is a mom that has this issue. We need to make an effort now, like you visit the others. That is if Mpilo visits the other mothers. But if they resolved it, then I know why still talk about it again if it's resolved. It's Mselego that raised it. MaYeni never just randomly talked about it. Umselego irezile because he knew there's an issue of certain kids not visiting certain mothers. And he was saying and he doesn't want that. And uMaYeni was saying this is an issue I have specifically with Mpilo. I don't feel like uMaYeni raised it with Ilokuzan. Is the one that raised it because because the fact that she still remembers it, you know. But Umselego, who got everybody to talk about certain kids that don't visit, because if you think about it, you guys, in that conversation, the person that really most issues was about was uMaYeni, because the issue was that Mpilo doesn't visit uMaYeni, and then the other issue was that uMaYeni's kids, which are more specifically Umnini, doesn't visit the other moms, which uMaYeni ended up saying, I can't do that because Umnini has asthma, and I don't feel like the other moms would be able to take care of him if he has an asthma attack. Okay, so I guess uMaYeni is the one that is more reluctant to have her kids visit the other moms, and also her getting visited by the other kids. Okay, because even when we watch them on social media, I think the person that I've seen the kids visit and she'll be doing our lives, and the kids will be at her house is MaKhumalo, especially the younger kids are almost always at MaKhumalo's house. Halagasha phakathi just by the stroke of luck. On a Saturday afternoon. Hi, Jabu. Thank you so much for being here. Tremaine and Non-Tobago are here in the comment section, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Listen, you guys, I think we've discussed everything that we needed to discuss here. I thought that this scene, MaKhumalo no MaYeni, was going to be my most favorite scene. I thought that it was going to be a revealing scene. Finally, we were going to understand why they don't like each other, why sometimes they don't support each other, because MaKhumalo has even said, even when she plans certain events, like MaYeni wouldn't show up. So we didn't get that. There's no one who bores me like Toby. You also feel like this Mobile usebenzisa these women as storyline. Listen, Musa is an executive producer on the show, so I'm sure that when the season begins, he knows very well what he's going. He knows all the number one. He knows all the issues that all of the wives. Think about it, you guys. When remember when we were in season 3 kanje of Uthando Nesthembu, we thought Mangwabe was about to leave her marriage because of the way that she was edited on the show. It was edited as if she's a horrible wife. And since season 3, guys, every opportunity that Umselego has got to tell us about how horrible of a wife Umangwabe is, he does it. That's because that's just how they've structured the show. Because if really her marriage to Umseleg was that bad, and if Umseleg was really that unhappy with Umangwabe, they would have gone their separate ways by now. Because he has 3 other wives, okay? I do feel like some of it is exaggerated because he is an executive producer, okay? And in a way, his wives are playing different roles, okay? Macele is like this wife who supported the vision, without her, we wouldn't have done it. And then MaYeni is the love of his life because she was like the first girlfriend. She should have been the first wife, but she's second. And then you've got MaKhumalo, who is the one that is willing to help and support and whatever, and is saying yes to everything. And then we've got a horrible wife, Mangwabe. But Mangwabe is still there and looking very happy in her marriage. The only person that looks like they're not happy in the marriage is Umosa. But my question is he really not happy, or it's just for the show? Because when you see them outside of the show, like Umseleg, when he's posting them and talking about them on social media, he says all positive things about all of his wives, from Umacele to Umangwabe. But when he's doing the show, he will say positive things about everybody except Umangwabe, because that is just how they've decided to present Umangwabe on the show. So I do feel like a lot of it is the influence Mosavele, ukuthi things must be a certain way. It's like we as control to this season, ngifuna ukukhipha indaba ethile nendaba ethile nendaba ethile. Because we are as well, you map my issues that they have in the family. Let me remind usuyavalelisa we kade ngifikile guys. I need to make food for sipho sethu, okay? Naye lo Thobile uyawazi lama plots akaMusa uyawazi, they're together. Lona, I think the TV part of the Mseleko family, the people that have a vision on it is Uthobile Nomosa, because I think Uthobile really loves TV just as much as Umosa. So, and look at it, okay? MaKhumalo, when they are sitting with Mseleko, they're not really talking about their own issues. They're not really talking about their issues because they do have their own issues, okay? Some are very sensitive and we won't talk about them, okay? They will just, brush on the issue. They're always talking about, other people. The last sit down that Musa had with MaKhumalo, they talked about the fact that MaKhumalo, no Macele, they don't get along. Then MaKhumalo needs to have a sit down with Macele. They talked about the fact that Umangwabe is withdrawing from everybody else. They talked about the fact that MaYeni was at MaKhumalo's house while MaKhumalo's not there. So MaKhumalo needs to talk to MaYeni. They don't talk about their own issues, So both of them, that's why I plan a storyline is, but it's not going to be about us. It's about them. How bad are they, Bona, as wives? When have we seen Umakumala has always been presented the same way? Okay, we still want that storyline of her dating a man in the office. As I told, because they're not giving it to us. So Bila abamzwile bonke, and it's time kuvela why. Exactly. So this sit down should have been about that. Like if MaKhumalo just walked in there and say, listen, ever since I joined this family, you've never liked me. Now I want to know why, so that we can fix it. That would have been a much better scene than we got. But we're never gonna know, because I don't even think MaKhumalo wants us to know. Okay, which makes me feel like Auntie Lena, I don't think she wants us to know. I don't think they want us to know, but I don't think that MaKhumalo, I think she's the one that really doesn't want us to know why the others really don't like him. Is that the case? If that's the case, then their show should move from reality show to kind of a soap opera. It is kind of a soap opera. Because even at the end of season, khona season eyaphela kungathi uMaNgcwabe is packing up, uyahamba, kungathi uMaNgcwabe is not getting along with uThobile. And then the next thing we saw the three of them, Musa, Thobile, and MaNgcwabe doing a show on is it SABC One? The one yama romantic what relationships, what. And they were getting along so well. And then Musa was so in love with uMaNgcwabe. Guys, watch that. She couldn't show. And then I was like, see, now we just watched the last episode. Nina kungathi uMaNgcwabe is going to divorce you, you know? So it is a soap opera-ish. I feel like that, you guys. The okunye nje ba-exaggerator for us, for our entertainment. Amukho umuntu ozaziyo kazi le indaba, so they can tell us the truth. Yes, guys, akukho no friend mhlampe who's going to leak the story to us. Isazi ukuthi kahle kahle kwenzekani. Nobody. But guys, I think khona izinto that maybe as a family they decided, because we're going to do the show, but we will never reveal this and this and this. Because remember when MaYeni even said, good guys, there are things that where if I talk about those things, if I talk about those things, kuyobe ngathi I'm personally attacking certain people with family. She said, and she was crying, saying that she was like, listen, I'd rather not say, because if I told you those things, then so I feel like there are things that Tumosa was like, listen, you guys, no matter what you do, don't reveal this and this and this. Okay. So we're not gonna get everything, I guess. Yeah, and as ingane kamakhel ingane hasibani futhi ingane yasendaweni. Guys, akasekho umuntu wasemzumbelana sinika indaba vele. Hayi, it can't be. Ingane yasendaweni phela uMaKhumalo, even uMacele said, guys, asimsukeli, because I know ama-fans kaMaKhumalo are very loyal, and that's good, you guys. But she did say uMacele ukuthi mina phela uMaKhumalo ngangimazi nje njengengane yasendaweni. The next thing washada umyeni wakhe. Guys, please bhekani iy'ngane zasendaweni. Ningazithatha kancane ingane zasendaweni zizothatha abayeni bendeni. The next thing ingane ungaloku uthuma ingane yasendaweni eyodwa. Ngicela ngithengele uyabuka lapha nomyeni wakho ukuthi ingane yasendaweni. The next thing athi hayi inkosikazi sengifuna unkosikazi wesibili manje, kanti ingane yasendaweni le kade uyithuma wena. Guys, amadoda. Yeah, Thobile was ingane yasendaweni, guys. I did that story, man, in my other video. Was ingane yasendaweni, met uMseleku. Uthi she said yes when she was 18 to Baba uMseleku. Base beyajola wahamba usebenza office laba uMseleku, and then wajola noBaba uMseleku, and then there was also Baba uMseleku's wife working there. Eningisazi mos le story. Kunini sisixoxa. But you see, I'm thinking umuntu who is close to the situation to tell us the tea, like the real tea, okay? Of course, now, guys, they are big, happy family. Okay, happy family. But we do want them gossip from the past. What happened? Okay, ziningi nje igaxa kaMakhe bakithi. Maybe that's why she works overtime to PR herself. Yeah, you guys, but here's the thing. I think the more uMaKhumalo is wanting the others to like her and be okay with her, the more I'm thinking, Kanti, what is the tea? Kanti, if she just relaxed like the others, guys, amukho umuntu mind her own business like MaNgcwabe. I feel I can't wait for a sit down kaMaNgcwabe no MaKhumalo, because uMaKhumalo did say she's going to arrange a sit down too with MaNgcwabe, because she feels like MaNgcwabe has withdrawn from everybody. That's because MaNgcwabe is minding her own business right now. So I feel like if she just acted like MaNgcwabe is like, even if she's not angry with you, but she would just be keeping to herself, okay? So uMaKhumalo is like, she umuntu ofuna ukuthi akuthandwanwe, akuhagwanwe, and whatever. And the others are like, huh, not when you did what you did in the past, which we don't know. That's what we need to know. Ukuthi kwenzekani kanti in the past. So yeah. Abaphakame abasemzumba. So that, hey guys, and akukho muntu yazi, akukho source, akukho lutho. Mina, I would like to even know ukuthi bapha abantu bakaMseleku, guys, bapha abantu bakaMseleku. I know there are people that don't have families, okay, where you sure umuntu athi yimi nje ngedwa, mhlawumbe yimi no uncle wami oyedwa nje abasaphila, abantu abasaphili kwi-family. So yeah, that happens. But sometimes I'm like, bapha abantu bakaMosa. UMosa didn't have a brother, sister. Oh yes, there is a sister. He does have a sister. Uncle, aunt, angazi nje uncle othile iphuzela utshwala, grandmother thile osasele. What happened? Where are they? Abantu basemzumbeka, guys. Mhlawumbe ke banikwa something ukuthi wozani nizo nayazi lento yasemphakathini ukuthi kuthiwa goga beze bazolona for Christmas. Mhlawumbe babu umsele kwenza into kanjalo maku Christmas emzumbe, so that because otherwise I don't understand why don't you get the tea from abantu basemzumbe. Anyway, you guys, listen, I am about to go. Lisigo, show Katumi Murag, yes, that show. Did you watch Lisigo? Because I felt like it was after we watched season 5. It was after we watched, and they were not getting along. And then we watched that show right after. It was like they were done shooting Uthando Nesthembu. They moved on to shoot that show. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, yo, that's when I was like, Ubamsele is in love with Umangwa Budlala Ngats. I was like, putting at Uyothandwa kakhulu. It's just that whole thing is a show for the reality show. I was like, I bathandana laba. Guys, please watch it. Even here on YouTube, somebody posted it. Said like good quality show. I just don't remember the name of the show. It's like Sunday Love something, you guys. But yeah, that's why you see ukuthi hayi lento sibuka lapha yana okunye baya exaggerate. Usibani, hope she was never groomed, but okay. Let me give you the story and then you can decide, is it grooming? Okay. If a man who's a little bit older than a woman, okay, who's already in a workplace or has businesses somewhere, dates a girl who is, just to be safe, let's just say 18 years old, okay? But think about it. MaKhumalo said, she said yes to Babumsele when she was 18. Okay. And then they go on to work together at the office, and then she becomes his third wife. And then that third wife becomes the wife that says yes to most of the things that he wants to do. Okay. Wants to take another wife, yebo baba. Can I have your money so that I can take care of the other wives? Yebo baba. Can I give you a car as a gift? Yebo baba. Can I take that car as a gift and give it to the other wife's side? Yebo baba. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I don't know, there are elements of it. No fun of my chica. I am here. We are about to go, you guys. Listen, this is long. It's gonna be an hour. No. Anyway, you guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me. She was definitely groomed, okay, for me. Her trying so hard to be understood and loved is really tiring. And she's a beautiful woman, very successful. I but a relationship I can almost and logo, guys. Okay. And I think that's why people say MaKhumalo is the favorite. Who wouldn't like the person that says yes to all of their nonsense? Like whatever nonsense you want to do, whatever nonsense you want to get up to, they say yes. There's never a time when Mako was like, no, I'm uncomfortable with that. I would have said with the car, no, let me go think about it. Even that, guys, when Umusa decided he was going to take MaKhumalo's car and give it to Ulanda, there was not even, I wish we had discussed that before, because it didn't look like, maybe they did discuss it, but it didn't look like they had discussed it before. Even for her to just say, hey, you know what? No, ngiyakuzwa baba, but ngicela ukuyocabanga. Akubenzi kanjalo bona le yonke into yebo baba, yebo baba. Yeah. Thatha baba. Hey konke nje. Hayi. Ngathi baphila kwelinye izwe. Cha, i-grooming isebenzile impela, isebenzile futhi Jabu. I think isebenzile, and I feel like even though Umusa would say ukuthi uMacele supported his vision of starting the family because obviously she had to say yes to him taking the other wives. But MaKhumalo is the one that has actively, even financially supported the vision. Okay, she said it to go to to take care of the other wife. If his other wives need something, and he doesn't have the money, she helps him out. Ngathi ngiyabona. Abanye basibangeke basurvive esithenjini. Baba nansi imali. Uma sibambana udingani Nkosi yami, ikhaphethi. Nayi imali baba. Shame. Mina ngabe ngine-triple story abanye behlala ku-4 room, mina ngibe ne-triple story abanye behlala if I'm working and the others are not working there, mina angeke ngilinde ukuthi manje fanele kube indlu yakhiwa phela kaMseleko ngathi bonke bayakhelwa and then they got the double story and they all got double stories. If kune garage then the other one gets the garage and then again, but inside the house I think bayas decorate tell umuntu uzenzela according to their personality, But mina mengizoba ne-triple story abanye behleli kwi-4 room because no, I'm not giving my money. It's so sad kodwa bethuna ubona uMaKhumalo phoxa kangaka shame uyahamba nje esitsho kuye ezindlebeni uba uzondichithela isikhathi sami lapha abamboni tu shame umuntu uthetha njani. I feel sorry and I can see maybe it's because guys like I am MaYeni a little bit, I would have wanted to go, I would have gone there, but I would have wanted to discuss real issues. Like, really, you're calling me here to defending Anyako. Sinama issues that we could have discussed. I would have been like that. Maybe I'm not feeling sorry for MaKhumalo because mhlampe ngine personality in a sense that I would have wanted to go. It's either ngibiza ungibizela into serious noma ungangibizi at all. Then ukuthi ungibize nje sizo actor for TV sikhulume ngompilo when we know that we have real issues. Okay, so but I see what you're saying, you guys. And it does end up looking like MaKhumalo is the only one that is trying to make peace with everybody. But I think that there are reasons why people are acting the way that they are acting. Nyani Fundiswa. Shibasi is rude or straight talker. She didn't play with MaKhumalo. Listen, I think there are times when I do feel like MaYeni is rude. And then there are times when I feel like she is just as, I think in this instance, I feel like she was a straight talker when she was like, you know what, I feel like she was a straight talker in this. But you remember when they went on a trip, you guys, and they were playing a game of giving each other roses. And there was a time when they asked who was the last person to take your children to school, and MaYeni refused to give the rose to MaKhumalo, and everybody was confirming that MaKhumalo was the person that had last taken MaYeni to school. I don't know, mhlawumbe begibelisa impumelelo, behamba noMpumelelo on a Monday, uMpumelelo esikoleni abuye naye on a Friday. I don't know if uMpumelelo was boarding school, but kwakunento kanjalo. And she refused to give the rose to MaKhumalo. Like in an instance like that, I do feel like that's rude. Like that's mean. Why would you want to give her the rose? And she didn't give it to MaKhumalo. So there are times when I feel like she's a straight talker. There are times when I feel like she does have a mean spirit, especially when it comes to MaKhumalo. But guys, we need to know why, okay? Listen to her diary session. Which diary sessions? You mean MaKhumalo or listen, you guys. Lending our perspectives amaningi. I do understand his perspectives abantu who just feel sorry for MaKhumalo. MaKhumalo is like the is always positive, always tries to support everyone. I don't understand that perspective. But I think that if you listen between the lines, I don't know if there's anything like that. We are born with him. Sometimes you do feel like MaKhumalo, every diary session, if MaYeni is mentioned, ufuna singambuka MaYeni as a good person. Even herself doesn't say a lot of positive things about MaYeni. And MaYeni hasn't said a lot of negative things about MaKhumalo, but would act the way that we know ukuthi MaYeni akamthandi MaKhumalo indlela acts ngayo around MaKhumalo, but akahlali ku diary session and say MaKhumalo this and this and this. But uMaKhumalo has said in a direct session and said uMaYeni this, uMaYeni akangithandi, uMaYeni uyambona nje ukuthi akanaso nje isikhathi salento engifuna ukuhlala ngikhuluma ngayo. But uMaYeni has always been like that, you know. So it does feel like there's an undertone yokuthi ngathi uyafuna simcabanga uMaYeni as umuntu ongekho muhle. And that makes you look at uMaKhumalo a certain way. Why do you want us to not like uMaYeni? You know, because obviously the two of you have certain issues that have made you not like each other. But why are you so determined for us to not like her and look at her different? She knows exactly what she's doing. I think so, you guys. Shibasa said, I won't talk about things because some are done intentionally. I wonder what's that. Exactly. Kuningi just told what's done intentionally. What's done intentionally? I don't know, you guys. She didn't even say goodbye, but tonight to stop to beg them for loving her. No, and she needs to get matured, MaKhumalo, and face like give us a real reality show. Something is going on with you and these wives. There's a reason they don't like you, and you know. She knows very well, guys. I think all of them know what it is. Okay. Don't sit here and pretend, oh my God, I don't know why they don't like me. I'm trying here. Don't give us that because you know. After and then after you know, what did you do? Did you still usuku lamaYeni vele wayigcina indoda endlini wayivalela yangaya kaMaYeni kwenzekani? Tell us the truth. So I feel like even her, she wants us to think ukuthi she's this innocent. Bonke nje bayazi ukuthi kwenzekani but abafuni ukusitshela. Mhlambe ke phela ubamsele kwathi ningasho. Okay. Anyway, you guys, I think that's all. Okay. I think that's all we're going to do for today. Guys, it's very hard to stop talking about the Mselego family, but then let's open the door. Wafika kanjani? Yeah, you guys, wafika kanjani? You remember when she said, angithi wafika ukuthi yazi ngiyafisa the way sithanda ngayo indaba guys, ngiyafisa ukuthi kaMselego basidwebele like a diagram, you know? Because yes, uMaYeni wathandana no Baba Mselego first, but uMaYeni ended up being a third wife, you know? uMaYeni wathanda noBaba Mselego, but because kubo babengavumelani neSithembu, then uBaba Mselego met a virgin. Sengiyayisholo nami ke. I think maybe uMacele was a virgin njengoba nje noMpumelelo efuna ivirgin le ngoba nobaba bakho efuna ivirgin. Met uMacele ulona uMusa. I do think ukuthi uMusa married uMacele first because she was like, this one uzongivumela ukuthi ngithathe iSithembu lo. Yabona ukuba uMaYeni washada kuqala guys, ngabe bonke labantu abashadanga. uMaYeni doesn't play, okay? So then washada noMacele, and then after uMacele there was uMaSawula, okay? And then after uMaSawula there was uMaKhumalo, guys. Because uMaKhumalo, when she told that story, she said, "Mayithandana no Mselego, Mselego besebenza e-office with uMaSawula, not with uMacele. Macele was already a married wife. Elandela uMaSawula. uMaSawula was working in the office with uMaKhumalo noMselego. Then again, uMaYeni comes back somehow. That's why I need to sting a diagram with the time thing on it. Okay. Then which means uMaYeni, when she came back, ezothatha indawo yesithathu, uMaKhumalo was already there. She could have taken indawo yesithathu but didn't. Ukuthi kwenzekani lapho, you know, wathatha kuMaYeni and then uMaKhumalo followed, and then wase eletha umngani wakhe ke naye uMangwabe. And then at some point uSindi washona uMaSawula. And there's a lot we don't know behind the screen. Basinika half of their story. We want everything. But you guys, if you notice, that's why even though people were saying after last season we've had enough, the Uthando Nesthembu doesn't need to come back, I was like, yeah, but you know that every season there's just one little thing that they can't hold back anymore. Because I mean, you can lie us for so long, you know. So every season we're just getting just a little bit. Guys, I need to take care of my baby now. Yes, something about Mselego's Tembu. Organogram. We need a organogram with the dates and birthdays, everything. Who had a child, who didn't have a child when they got married, because abanye besingazi ukuthi banengane kanti banengane. We need an organogram, okay? That's why abantu basemzumbe siyabadinga, but abafuni ukuthi ukuphakamise izandla. Phakamisani abantu basemzumbe nisinike organogram. who came when, okay? Ubani oshaya omunye. Phela makusaqala isithembu kazi kuyaliwa kushaywane, okay? Obani abalwa in the beginning of this term. Okay, ntando papa kwamnandi ukuxoxa indaba zakamsele indaba zabantu kazi mnandi. Ilambe ingane asambeni bakithi. Asambeni ilambile ingane yami. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I don't know when I'll do the next live, but watch out for my notifications. I appreciate you so much. All of the people in the comment section, I appreciate you. Please like the stream and also share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Laba baku Facebook, guys, go on YouTube, subscribe to Uthando Nesthembu, and then go on the other channel, Reality Buzz TV, and subscribe there as well. Thank you so much. Nginithanda kakhulu. Ulambile usiphatha. Kade edla ngo2 lo muntu ayibo. Let me feed my baby. Oh, nkosambaza ngifonelela ama social worker ke manje abantu. Thank you so much, guys. It's been great to hang out.